Hi, I'm Jimmy Musto, and I'm the principal percussionist with the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. And I thought while we're on a brief hiatus, I would talk a little bit about something that I had coming up with the orchestra. Several members of the orchestra and I were going to play a Bollywood music concert through the Community Partners branch of the orchestra. And this is always a very interesting time for me when we get to do this. We've done it a few times before, and I get to play some very special drums known as the North Indian tabla drums. This is what they look like. You can see the skin there is very complex. There are several levels of the skin. It has tuning pegs. This one is made of wood. It is called the tabla generally, and this one is made of metal. You can see that it's a very ornately embossed metal bowl, very large. And this one is known as sometimes the bayan or the dyna. And the two drums have distinctly different sounds. One is very high sound, and one's a very low sound. Not necessarily pitched to any particular notes, just generally whatever music you're playing. And for those of you who don't know what Bollywood is, I'm assuming you probably all do, but that would be presumptuous. So Bollywood is the film industry of India, and it's a pun on Hollywood. So Bollywood is, it has a whole musical tradition to itself. They're usually elaborate dance numbers and singers that have a very distinctly Indian melismatic style to their voice. And the tabla drums are one of the key ingredients to creating the character of that music. There are many different sounds that you could play with these drums depending on how long you spend practicing them there. It's an old tradition, thousands of years old. You learn the drums by a set of syllables called bols, B-O-L-S. For instance, this sound, this is one of the most distinct tabla sounds. It's an overtone. I'm getting it by holding this finger down on the head, the edge of the black dot, and playing with one finger. That sound is called na. Another sound would be this sound called ti. So I get na, ti, na, ti. Another sound on this drum would be the tune sound. So I get na, ti, tune. Another sound is the te sound. Te can be made by these groupings of fingers and getting this sound. Now, once I start combining that with this drum, I get a whole different set of syllables. So, for instance, this drum has two distinct sounds, the ge sound, which is the low bass tone, and the ke sound, which is a slap across the side of the skin of the drum. So when I start combining those sounds, for instance, if I use the ge and I use the na sound, that sound is called da. So now I'm starting to create a palette of tonal colors on these two little drums. And if you notice, I almost never use the whole hand to play the drums. It's usually just the fingers. It's more like being a pianist than it is a percussionist or a drummer. Fascinating instrument, and I'll play a little bit for you and just give you an idea of the multiple colors that these drums are capable of.